Leviathan absolutely destroyed Team Heretics, and it's all thanks to one guy. Well, I shouldn't say one because Leviathan actually just looked really good all around. But one player I want to highlight in particular is Neon. This is his first time ever on a national. He's first off, he's a rookie. Second off, this is his first time on an international stage. And third of all, he's destroying your favorite pros. Neon is genuinely one of the best oppers I've ever seen play this game, and he stepped up when Leviathan needed him most in this do or die series against Team Heretics. He matched MVP'd on Lotus, which is Team Heretics' pick, and they barely lost that game. They dominated on Split. Everyone just had a field day there. But we're going to take a look at Ascent and break down Neon's Chamber, because when players normally, when they hear Chamber, they think monkey brain dead, run it down, swing slop, right? But the way that Leviathan have or set up around their chamber and game plan around him, and the way that Neon plays chamber, it makes you think that, man, maybe this agent has a bit more creativity potential than we first thought. So it's pissed around, and Lev are set up in a 4-1, where Omen is going to hold this entire half of the map alongside Chamber's Trip, and these four are getting ready to fight. First of all, B main, and if need be, mid. That's why the Trip's not here. The Trip's more needed in tree, where Omen has to hold a ton of map control on his own. And this little bot is going to be the match MVP. Because on Chamber, getting kills isn't the only way you can find value. There's a bunch of others, and you're going to see one right here. So, the round's going to start. The offense are clearly contacting into A. They don't have their Cypher Trip watching flank. Instead, they have their cam here, which can spot down this way. And you're going to see they send in their smokes, they send in the neon wall. Sight seems clear. The recon goes in. Sight's pretty clear. They didn't invest a whole lot of utility. So what's Heretic's game plan? Well, because Boo didn't have to use his paranoia, or I guess they planned on saving it, their post plans involves him flashing up this lane, and it's going to barrel through all the defense, and Team Heretics are going to be able to push in and like fight this area. You'll see it in a second. Now, Lev realized that, hey, these guys are planting, let's go retake, and you're going to see the team split off in 3 players going heaven, 2 going towards tree. And because this trip is up, you're going to see that, hey, we got here a little early, we have a little extra time. You're going to see Neon. He's going to peek around a catwalk, make sure all this is clear, that there's no lurkers. All right, we have time to do this post plant, right? But look, the door gets broken, Team Heretics start hitting, and because Neon is in such a good position, it puts what is it, Team Heretics into a jumbo crossfire, and it's just so hard to win a post plant when you're facing against a dude with a guardian, and then you have King paranoying this entire lane, tagging 3 people into a Sova Dart at the same exact time. So these are just good post plant positioning. It's good post plant positions, right? Neon took the extra time to clear out cat. Teams will oftentimes send a late lurker up tree, up cat, backstab the defense. But because Neon cleared out that space, he won his team the round. Well, he helped win his team the round. He was a big part in why they won the round. Okay, and we're going over to round number 2. So the offense clearly have to save, but what Team Heretics like to do is force up an Outlaw in full armor. In ranked especially, this can catch teams off guard because everybody loves just sticking to half armor and making sure they can buy Vandals or as much as they can. People in ranked don't normally think, and they don't expect you to have this cannon on round 2 after losing pistol, right? So as you can see, Boo dropped in the gun, but that's not an important part, because if you look at Lev's setup, they're in a 2-1-2, soon to be a 2-3, but Chamber's job is to basically patrol B main, secure this third of the map, and because his trip's here, his team soon enough is going to be able to stack A. Now, when you're playing Chamber, or when you're playing with a Chamber, or if you even hear the name Chamber, a lot of people think egoed. They think like ego, like swing a lot, confidence, you know, going for these big hero plays, right? But Neon isn't that Sentinel. Like he's not disciplined. He has discipline. So you're going to see that as Team Heretics are defaulting into A, they kind of have a little piece of mid. You can see Sato even goes down, which is big, this is huge for Lev, right? A becomes a ton weaker, and now this side of the map needs help. But because Neon has pushed up into a position like this, right, because A was so loud and Cat was so loud, he feels more safe to take a line like this. You're going to see Sova rotate over, and for the next like 30 or so seconds, like Lev have a strong A-hold. They have a strong A-hold, and the offense, Team Heretics, are going to run into a blunder, right, if they decide to keep going A. But they don't. They decide that, hey, some time has passed, we've cut noise, maybe rotates have been dragged over, maybe they know the Chamber's playing B, and still, even then, Neon is going to find value. He knows that when teams go B, it's always in a B split. Nobody just funnels through market as 5. That doesn't make sense because then you put yourself in a jumbo crossfire, right? So he patiently waits for the Cypher. He patiently waits for him. He patiently waits for him. Okay, says the Cypher isn't coming. Let's focus on the market door. You're going to see in a second. Takes a few shots. Doesn't overcommit. He knows when to TP out. He isn't like your brain dead chamber that you see in ranked. He buys his team enough time to funnel in with those shots, and Loku cleans up the round. If Chamber died in this position, let's say, for example, he overcommits to this market fight and dies to the Cypher, he loses his team so much more of the map, and his teammates that are funneling in now have to worry about B main, market, lane, and so much more. So, Neon is very disciplined, and if you play Chamber, this is how you should be playing him. Now, I talked in the intro how you can sort of be creative around chamber setups, and you can. So a lot of teams love forming traps with their setting utility, whether it be a Cypher Tripwire or Killjar Alarm Bot, and then off of those signals that those bots give off, teams will usually have some sort of big play behind it, like a big blind or flash or swing play, right? And you can kind of do the same thing as Chamber. You can actually do the same thing as Chamber. I shouldn't say kind of, because you can. You're going to see it. So, Life has swapped their setup. They're in a 3-2. Omen and Chamber on Cat. The offense, in the meantime, are kind of just defaulting around the map. You have 3 towards A main. You got 2 in mid. You got a Cypher camera that kind of spots everything. That's not really important. So the offense, they're going to take A main. I'm going to go ahead and skip forward a little bit. And after taking A main, they feel like they've done enough. Nice. We'll keep 2 here. We're going to go walk up Cat, and we're going to go A split. The defense, in the meantime, have not received any pressure in B main, so they feel confident to leave 2 here, keep 3 stacked A. And because Chamber is on this line, right? Just never mind. Just watch what they do around Chamber setup. Just watch and learn.
Neon's right there, though. Unanticipated onto that angle. The slide is a second layer.
So normally when Chambers TP, the offense or the opposing team sort of lets their guard down because they think, oh, Chambers TP'd away. I have a little bit of space I can take. This is safe for me to advance, right? But not in this situation. Notice how that when Chamber takes a shot, Neon is going to run in and slide and take the next contact. Look, Chamber gets his. Woot's not expecting that, and they both get out and they both play their lives. Very smart, very coordinated, and it's going to end up, well, it kind of wins love the round. So you're going to see in a second. 40 seconds left. Team Heretics, it's a 3 versus 5. This really should just be an unwinnable round for Team Heretics. So they shouldn't get back into this round. But unfortunately for us, or unfortunately for Lev, they are. So a little bit of time is going to pass. You're going to see in a second. The judge is close left. They know the judge exists. So things are about to get a little hairy. Neon's jump spotting for the judge so the judge can get ready. Or so we can take some of the heat off of the judge, right? The offense walks in, doesn't expect the judge close left. King miss, spikes, whiffs, Neon gets 1. Neon gets 1. And now, so far, we've been showing off good chamber solid fundamentals, right? But the best of the best chambers know how to step up and frag out when their team needs them to most.
Now there needs to be a bit of a speed up here from the rest of the Heretics squad. Who's going to be TPing in, trying to get that plan down. Coverage, got his side, Benjyfishy. Taken out, bullet to the chest, and Neon is just unreal.
And now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Neon played perfectly, because he didn't. And I think it's good that we look at both the good and the bad in these breakdowns. So, what is it? Lever set up in a 1-2-2. Great and dandy. Phoenix is here to shoot some darts, maybe flash for the guy, wall him out if need be. And what is it? Team Heretics are set up in a 1-1-3, where they're going to start by defaulting into A main. That's all fine and dandy. That's not the important part. Now, look close to the minimap, and you'll see Omen. Omen is going to jump spots Chamber, knows the Chamber's there, and he's telling his team, hey, Chamber's here. We can't let him be on this line. You see the pings come in like, yo, this dude is right here. He's just sitting here. Like, can we push this guy back, right? So the cage is here. The cam goes in, spots the Chamber, right? Chamber's still here. All of Team Heretics know that Neon is in this position. We see the pre-fires. Neon takes half of his HP. Half of it's gone. The offense are talking about how they want to deal with this guy. Okay, maybe we can, like, pinch him, right? We'll send our Neon around this way. We can, like, put up a wall or something and then slide it on him. And they're like, oh, wait, we don't want Chamber to leave, right? So let's not make Chamber leave. Let's give him something to play with. So we'll smoke Cat, and you'll see he just gets pre-fired. You don't want to just stand in the same spot in Valorant. You want to reposition when your position is discovered so you don't get, destroyed like this. So that's not good. That might have been a little too egoista, but that's okay. So, chat, it isn't just the brains that this guy has that makes him a good chamber player. It's not just the brains. It's the crisp shots. And I'm going to try my best to show you what the shots look like. So, it's very clear Team Heretics are heavy pressuring B main, if not just going B. But without their Omen there, I highly doubt it. The paranoia is really important. They're just going B. I'm going to slow this down ahead of time because if you, like, quite literally, if you blink, you will miss this shot that he hits. I might have slowed it down a little too early, but look, if we look at this, and then he gets out. Like, what? Like, how is that shot possible? Kashmiris dies, right? So, like, now he's kind of all on his own, and is now up to Neon to anchor down the B site for Leviathan, because the offense are screaming that there's probably only 1A. Let's speed this back up to normal speed again. They're probably screaming, oh, it's 1B, 1B. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So you see, boom, another good shot. Doesn't get overwhelmed, lands the bullets, lands a shot that his team needs him to hit. And look, he's bought his team enough time to come on over and flood back in. And we'll just play it the rest of the round. So, Lev, don't expect this guy close, right? It's a 2 versus 2. Oh, when I said we were going to play the round out, you thought this round was going to be a blowout. It's not. 1 versus 2. Neon and Cypher, 1v1. Or I'm sorry, 2v2. How do we play against it? Let's rewind this so we can show what this looks like. So, Lev are actually down 2 to 3 here. 2 versus 2. We haven't seen Omen around all match. Or all game. All round. We haven't seen him. Where is this guy? Look at him in mid. Look at this. This was the 4-1 that they had. This is the 1. He is about to TP past Chamber Strip. He's in TP past Chamber Strip, right? Now, chat, I don't think Omen's TP sound is that big to where the entire map can hear him. I don't think it's that big, right? It's a 2 versus 2. I don't think that's possible. So, listen. What is possible, though, is if a Team Heretic member flanked all the way through A and is getting ready to backstab the defense through spawn. That is a possibility. So, look at the map, and you'll see the Trip is holding mid. It's holding mid-market. Neon is holding B main. And Chamber is holding spawn, and the spike is on site. The offense need to come to them. Lev decide to hold their angles and just play to get theirs. And look, for the next minute, they're just holding. And Neon is, like, sure that this guy is in spawn. Like, for sure, no matter what. So much so that Boo's even predicting that he knows. So he smokes stairs, and Neon is still holding this angle. Neon gets the kill, and then other Neon, Chamber Neon, gets the other kill. Again, well played. Just big brains from this kid. So now you're going to see another one of those trap plays, and I'm telling you, this is way better than the first one where Neon slid out a cat. And these plays, these type of setups just work so incredibly well. So the defense are set up into 2-3. Trip's holding mid, all fine and dandy. Team Heretics are defaulting into B main. That's great and all. The offense are joining up. Chamber doesn't want to get tagged, right? If he gets tagged, he's got to TP away, burn his teleport. It's nice that Sova breaks it for him, or it expires, whatever. It doesn't really matter. The recon goes in exchange, and Neon's clearing the area. He doesn't want to overextend, right? He waits for his Sova to join him back on the line. Sova finds the jet. Neon slides in. Nice. This is a good B main take. Now, Team Heretics feel like, okay, we've dragged the defense over to B main, right? There's 3 here. We need to go hurry up and go into another part of the map, right? So I'm going to go ahead and hit play. Smoke goes here. We're pressuring mid now. Trip gets broken. The defense's attention's all going to be over here. It should be all in this area, right? And it's true. There's 3 defenders here. Team Heretics have done a good job in dragging 2 rotates. Or keeping 2 defenders here, only having 2 here, right? But as you can see, the hold from, I think he uses a Phoenix Molly. Yep. The hold from Phoenix is good. It's hard to do without a replay system, but we Phoenix Molly the choke, we stop the offense in the tracks, and we have 3 here. Now, if you look at B, not only that, we're Sova ulting up this lane. We're Sova ulting up, we're clearing tree, we're clearing cat, but look at Cypher. Cypher has made it deep into enemy territory, and this is going to force a rotation from the offense to go back to B. But look who's B. Look who's holding all this valuable information for Leviathan. It's Neon. He's telling his team that it is not B. It's literally not B. The door is closed, so Sova's safe to blast his Harness Fury up this lane, and the offense have no idea, but that they're about to run into one of the best stoppers in the game. So, and even then, Lev are suspicious that somebody's in spawn, right? Benjyfishy trying to take shots. He's trying to pop shots. He's trying to drag all the defense's attention, but look in B main. Look. We could tell we don't want to fight this. We don't want to fight this Cypher. This Cypher wants us to be distracted. He wants to distract from us and take our attention away from the rest of the setup. And again, we're here. Chamber's going to take a first shot, and you'll never guess what Silva's about to do.
Ever closer now, works his way in, bites his time with that shot! But they are put into the blender regardless.
They've always got a beautiful setup to play off Neon as he escapes. Whether it's spike dashing in or...
So this part, or I guess round 10, doesn't have much to do with Neon, but I was thinking about this cool play that could have happened while I was streaming, you know, what I was watch partying this, twitch.tv/teetsTV. If you want to see these breakdowns live in action, check me out on stream. Link in the description. I was thinking of this cool play. So Lever on the retake, Team Heretics are clearly planting, or they have to plant, right? And Lev have to try and make it out of heaven. But the problem is that you're going to see in a second that door is still closed, right? And I'm going to go ahead and play. Neon trying to scale out of heaven with his Silva right behind him, getting ready to swing off him. And he's got a note that he's spamming, trying to find some spam kills up in hell or something, try and force the offense out into this op, right? You're going to see in a second, Neon puts his TP down. And I think it would have been cool that, I guess they hear the Chamber TP in heaven, but we have the time to make this play. It'd be cool to just hold on, like just wait for a second and just wait for the offense to do something to us. And then as soon as we see that this door is still like closed, it'd been cool if Silva like ripped his Odin at the door, broke the door open, and like made the offense feel like, oh no, Chamber's gonna come through tree. Or like just have that doubt in their head that like, oh god, Chamber's gonna come rail us, right? And I think that trying to retake out of heaven with an op especially, it's hard. Because you can swung at any time, I guess, but it's hard to just clear so much ground and jump out of heaven, right? Especially without that door pressure coming in, right? So just something I wanted to mention. So a few days ago on the channel, I posted that Paper X breakdown against Lev and how Paper X just decimated his team and it wasn't even close on a sense. And in one of those later rounds, I talked about how something hit this crazy shot through the wall on Sato's head on Cat, and it was just ridiculous. And there's a similar shot that happens in this round where you just look at it and you're just like, how on earth does Neon hit that? And it's going to be on this A retake. So the offense are clearly hitting A. Neon tries to go for a no scope and get out, which is kind of crazy. But when you're Chamber, you can make these type of plays, and I think it's a smart thing to do, right? You're not guaranteed to hit the shot, but you might as well take the chance if you have it, right? So the retake's going to start. Both teams trade kills. Kashimiris goes into heaven to find the equalizer. The drone's coming out. The drone's going to get broken eventually. It's going to get broken. We know somebody's on Gen. The Hunter's Fury's coming in. We're Hunter Furying while the defense are trying to prep for the retake, and we do a ton of damage, right? So we're at a 3 versus 4. Sato has just ripped his runner back to 1, heal himself, but 2, initiate this retake and get a bunch of info for his team. So Flash, Omen Flash, right? Gets 1 kill, right? And now watch the rest of his retake, and I want you guys to try and figure out, how did Neon hit this shot?
And we see the ult offloaded, run it back from Sato, is jumping down, eventually traded out, but he does claim the 1! What is that by Neon? Finding these kills. Shrouded, covered up, how are they doing it? That is just ridiculous!
So you might be thinking, oh my god, how did Neon hit that shot? It was blind through a smoke, and it just absolutely destroyed Team Heretics, right? It was a 3 versus 3. You're gonna see it again. Sato gets a kill, he dies. I want you to notice, I want you to remember that when Phoenix ult dies, and it died right here, Phoenix can kind of like turn his camera around pretty much and basically get free info for his team. So I like that Neon took the risk of pushing into the attacker Cypher cage, which makes a noise, by the way. He could very easily get spammed for all of his HP. And he trusts that his teammate, Sato, saw somebody in this lane. And I mean, this is it's a pretty high chance that you hit this shot, right? That we shoot a shot up this lane, right? And watch how it just lands perfectly onto Jet's forehead. And by forehead, I mean upper thigh, right? And then the rest of the retake, the rest is history, right? A 3 versus 2, play numbers. Sato's hitting shots. It's a good time if you're a Lev fan. We've seen it all so far. We've seen aim, we've seen brain, and now we're going to see clutch potential, right? And a lot of people had a question about the way that the players played this 1 versus 1, and I'm going to answer them in this setup here, or in this round. So Lever set up at a 1-2-2. Chamber has his trip on his thing, which is okay, because if Chamber like receives a lot of contact and the offense try to like run him down, this trip should slow the attackers down if he gets charged. Not only that, if Chamber ever wants to reposition, he can reposition knowing that Tree's going to be watched for his teammates. So It's really not that bad if you're a chambermain. I just wouldn't camp on it all around. Just make sure the strip's getting some value, right? Now, the offense in the meantime are defaulting into A main pretty hard in the 3-2. They're also taking B main. They have the Cypher cam here, which spots just about everything. Probably used a cage to cross here and put a cam up. So they're making pressure on B main. They made pressure on A main. Now it's time to do some sneaking around in mid. And Woot gets a fantastic shot. I know it's not a Woot breakdown, but we should talk about it. So the defense clearly want to get more space. They don't really know where the offense are. So Silver rips his drone. We see that Cypher, you know, he leans out and breaks it. And usually Cyphers are by themselves. We don't usually expect the Jet here, right? That's why I'm assuming that at the start of the round we used a cage to cross here and then use the cam. I'm assuming that Jet's been silent this whole time, right? So Woot gets back on the line. It's a fantastic bait. It's a good bait to bait out the reclear. And but now because, you know, because his team's down, guess who decides to take a stroll down mid? Albeit a little risky because I'm pretty sure he's out of his TP range here. Pretty close. He's close to out of his TP range. So the offense want to reclear Cat. Great shot from Neon. TP's out. Beautiful. Now, this is where the mind games come in. Does Chamber stay or does he leave? Most tier 1 oppers are going to reposition. So that plays into the mind game. Should Chamber leave? You know, Team Heretics might think that this guy's leaving. We don't know. We tried to use our Silver drone to see if anybody else was there. We found the trip. Our trip gets broken. Team Heretics have done a good job to turn this into a 2-2. They can kind of hit whichever site they want. It's not the wrong decision either way, right? And they've baited out enough util, gotten a good opening kill. It's a good time. They've taken on the Sova. That's the person who determines where the defense is going to stack. So Team Heretics decide, group up B. Sato gets traded. Spike is about to get traded. That puts us into 2 versus 2. And you see King has just freshly omen ulted to the backside of B. Now, there's 20 seconds left. Team Heretics need a plant. Things are getting risky. When does Neon swing out of his ult or swing out of the smoke, if ever, right? It's a hard decision to make. So I want you guys to watch this 2 versus 2 at home, and I want you guys to ask yourselves what you would have done in this clutch situation.
Cemented now, rooted, anchoring towards it with the Judge in hand up towards lane. Shots fired, it's traded immediately. Neon straight there in a 1v1, but time, 7 seconds remaining. The pressure's on, a tap from Rians. A tap from Rians, he hasn't committed! And Neon with the read! Plays the time, peels back, and earns Lev that 8th round.
So this 2v2 is actually a pretty solid setup for Lev to come up with on the fly and just play to it. So swinging out of a smoke with an op is basically a death sentence, right? Neon knows that. So what his plan is that because King has a Judge and he's holding lane, here's what's going to happen. If someone walks downstairs and shoots King in the back, Neon can swing out of the smoke, get his trade. It's a 1 versus 1. If somebody goes to lane and King gets a kill, nice. King probably gets traded. It's a 1 versus 1. So it kind of works out. This isn't like a bad setup to have like on the fly, especially with so much chaos and stuff going on, right? So that's why you're going to see that when Omen turns his corner and when King gets shot in the back of the head, it's an instant trade from Neon. Instant. I wish we saw his POV. But now here's the issue. That was a spike carrier. That was the spike carrier, and you're going to see that Neon is trying to hold this guy. The jump shot gets him out, tries to take a headhunter shot, and right here, this is basically a coin flip. A lot of people were question marking, what is Rians doing? He needs to plant. What is Rians doing? He needs to plant. Neon knows that Rians has to plant, right? Neon knows this. So he taps a plant and waits for Neon to swing because Rians has to plant, he's banking that Neon wants to get on the line and pin this guy down while he's planting. Does that make sense? So, but because Rians is expecting Neon to do that, he gets off the plant and waits for Neon to swing into him, right? So again, I do think that this was well played from Neon. Neon realizes it before the round even ends that, hey, this dude's got to swing me. Look at the minimap, you'll see he has to plant. I'm not pushing him. He's got to plant. And if he plants, odds are he doesn't really need to pin him down, right? There's not really too many places. There's not too many places that Rians can go, right? Even if he does plant, he's not gonna plant in the open. So if he sticks to the plant, you know, he's probably like right here or something. So it was just well played. A way to stay calm, cool, and collected under all this stress and in this situation. And I'm a huge Neon fan. So, but Chamber's a fun agent to watch. And if you want to watch another Chamber masterclass, watch that video right here. And if you want to watch these games live, check out my Twitch. Link in the description.